Well, good morning, everyone. This is the Abundance Oracle here. I thought I would do a little beach talk. I'm getting so many questions, but let me just introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. I, all my life, have been an advisor for people on investing money. They call it a financial advisor now. I was very lucky in that I was good at what I did, retired early, but I mostly invested two billionaires' money. I worked for a very large company, which I won't mention, but I've been getting people asking me what's going on, and I think I need to explain a little bit more about some of the things that you may not know some details about. And I'm sorry, my hair's going to be a mess. It's just the way what happens to me at the beach. So, and I'll give you a little view of where I'm at. It's very pretty. So there's been lots of conversation lately about Doge and them doing an audit. Oh, I don't know, this might be too much glare, but them doing an audit. I'll go back to the car so you can see. But this is like one of my favorite views near my house here. Can you see? I don't know, there might just be two on the jetty. Okay, so Doge about adding Fort Knox. First of all, Fort Knox is not the only place we store gold in our country. Another very, very large holding facility is right in New York City, which is under the ground, which has a lot of tunnels, and one of them happens to lead to JP Morgan, and there's quite a few places it leads to, so I'm not going to say just JP Morgan, but a lot of financial institutions. So when they say we would, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. When they say we would like to audit Fort Knox, they really need to do an audit of the whole gold supply. And we're going to assume that we're never going to find out about how much gold is in the Grand Canyon. There is a lot of assumptions that there's quite a bit, and there is a military facility guarding what's in the Grand Canyon, and that's why way back they turned it into a public park so nobody could have access. All right. So there's several facilities that if we're going to audit, we need to do all the facilities that we own that holds gold in the United States. When they say audit, I want to explain what that means. Back in I think it's 53, 54, what they did is they actually tested each bar. There's serial numbers on each bar. There's lists of those serial numbers. And then there's different, let's just call it rooms, different rooms where there's stacks of things. And then what they did in 1970 is 74, I believe it was, in the 70s, they sealed the rooms up, or, you know, it could be even just bars and things like that, of like a jail. So in one room could be something, and another room could be more, but they sealed with supposedly an impervious seal that once it's opened, like you can't open it without having to replace the whole darn thing. So it was sealed in the 70s after we went off the gold standard, and supposedly nothing has been removed or tampered with since then. So what they do at an audit, not the type of audit we want, but the actual process of auditing now may shock you. All they do is check the seals on the rooms and make sure they weren't tampered with. If they're tampered with, then they would go in and do an audit. But supposedly none of the rooms have been, or the sections have been tampered with. They didn't actually test the gold bars. They're just testing the seals on the storage area, each individual storage area. So between the 50s and the 70s, there would have been an opportunity, and this is looking back in history, for someone or our government to go in, mess around, melt down maybe some gold, put in a different core of the bar, and then put real gold covering the outside of it. Now, how thick would that gold have to be to pass the test so you can't tell that the interior is not gold? You technically either melt it down or you have to drill into it, which is a big process. You can imagine all this gold to do that. So that's why it's never been done. But in my opinion, between the 50s and where we currently have all our seals, someone could have gone in, replaced some or all of the gold with, I'm going to call it fake gold, and you would look at it and the rooms got sealed, or the sections got sealed up, and you would never know that it was tampered with. I believe we need to do random audits of the actual bars, and not just in Fort Knox, because Fort Knox is not the only place. Also downtown, it's New York City, there's like a tunnel down, and it's the size of a football field. It's a very huge holding facility in New York, and it was back when we had the atomic bomb, and it's a very solid, big facility the size of a football field. And then that big facility there also has big, huge, I'm going to call them screws down into the bedrock. So if New York City were ever hit with a nuclear bomb, for example, that gold facility, holding facility, would still stay intact. Anyhow, there's so much information, and I don't do a lot on finance, which is sort of my specialty, but I'll start doing a little bit more, but it's very, very interesting. So if they go in and they find out none of the gold, there's no problem, we have all the gold, it's all accounted for, it's all right, serial numbered, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Gold price would probably never not go down, but it wouldn't go up at all. Let's say you go and you find out half of the gold is there, or half is damaged, or half is fake gold, or whatever. It's going to make people very nervous, and the price of gold will probably go up. Let's say, I think easily $10,000 per ounce. And but it's going to create a lot of havoc, because there's a plan out there now to get rid of the Fed, the privately owned Fed, which is owned by very wealthy families, lending the money to the United States with interest on it. And that's why we're in such bad condition right now, because the Fed and those families that own the Fed, that charge us interest on it, our system currently, you're not going to like to hear this, but our system currently is like it's in the old days of royalty. So they're like our kings and queens. We don't really disclose who those people are, but they've been around for a long, long time. Very wealthy families, and I'm afraid to say names because I'll get taken off of YouTube. So Trump's now trying to fund the United States from outside, from people paying us, and us not borrowing any more money to use for our currency. That we have those paper dollars, they're just pieces of paper right now. And borrowing, we don't want to borrow the money from the Fed anymore because they charge us interest, and they make up how much they want to charge us. That's all goes back. It's like a loan shark system, if you want to say. And this mafia type of setup, or the kings and queen type of setup, is worldwide now with the central bank system. So I'm going to speak a little further on things. I'll take more time. I know it gets confusing when we're talking about auditing Fort Knox. So I just wanted to explain a little bit. I hope that you comprehend. If you have questions or you think I should tackle the topic in a different way, but it's much more complex than going in, counting bars. It's not that easy, but it needs to be done because we, the people, probably with all the criminal activity, we probably do not owe the Fed what they say because the Fed has also never been audited. And since you can see what Doge has uncovered just in USAID and other different programs we have set up, it's a massive, massive illegal enterprise that we're up against. And there is a way for us to eliminate income tax without it being a major crisis in the United States. And we have some very brilliant people, patriots, who are committed to making the bumps in the road as small as possible for us normal, regular people to be able to survive this switchover. And like Trump said, the country will be spectacular again. It's going to take some time after we switch over, but it will be absolutely spectacular again. I assume that we'll use something like Bitcoin opportunities to be able to buy things, but I think he'll also have some coins. We'll go back to the gold standard. That might include silver as well. The issue with silver is that there's not a lot of silver, a lot of the COMEX. Let's not get into that. Okay. So let's leave it at that for now, and I'll do something more hopefully this week and let you know more of my thoughts on things. There's so many little working pieces that I hope I didn't confuse you. A lot of it is not straight, clear forward, and each little rabbit hole you go down has its own set of complex issues. But please like and subscribe and share, and leave your comments or questions, especially questions or what you'd like to know more about, below. Okay, this is the Abundance Oracle. Have a great day. Hope you're not freezing where you are. New England is very cold. All right. Bye-bye. Big hugs. Bye.